Welcome to Battle Science, the Pokemon Go PvP podcast where we talk about Pokemon Go and its PvP. I am Steven, a.k.a. Boy in the Woods, joined as always by Jesse, a.k.a. Rocket Admin J.
Good evening. Or good day.
Good morning. Something like that.
Let yourself get comfortable as he lounges back in the recliner.
In a
Computer chair.
gaming chair in my jogger sweatpants. I think I tried wearing these at work a couple of times. 'Cause when I was at Under Armour, you had to wear Under Armour stuff. And so, like, I think a couple of my coworkers were wearing these. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. But I just can't get over how absolutely casual it feels to wear sweatpants, especially at work. I'm like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah, no.
I can't do it.
I can't wear sweatpants at work.
It's so frustrating. Well, I mean, you and I's current job is entirely different than a retail position.
Correct.
At a
Maybe
athletic
super
wear.
casual Friday.
No, I'd get fired anyway. I'd be told to change or get fired. I think I imagine, like, so wait, you are able to wear sweatpants technically? Because we're required to wear either jeans or Carhartts.
I haven't been told, but then again, I always wear jeans.
Okay.
But people in the office are allowed to wear whatever they want.
Well,
so.
of course they are. But yeah, at Under Armour, we had to wear Under Armour products, and I was like, why can't Under Armour make jeans so I can feel comfortable wearing them? I actually got golf pants. I got like khakis in different colors. Well, khaki is a color, so I got khaki and then golf pants in like blue and black, and wore those so that I could be semi-professional when I would go to classes afterwards. But enough about my old job or new job. This is the Battle Science Podcast for June 13th, not a Friday, 2023. We have a couple of topics to go over.
I just got that. Oh my gosh.
What?
Not a Friday.
Well, actually, we do have a Friday the 13th in October this year, which is pretty sick.
That'll be good.
If you're into that, yeah. I'm going to play Alan Wake 2. I can't wait. It's about as spooky as I'll get. Maybe at some point I'll play a Resident Evil game, but like, I don't know, kind of I'm a little scared cat. I don't like scary games. I don't like scary movies. It's not that I don't like them. I just haven't played any of them. So, you know, maybe I would like them. I wouldn't know. I got a couple of topics for you on this episode, but before we get into those topics, I want to thank the wonderful people that have backed us over on Patreon. Actually, so you can go over to patreon.com/battlescience and get a bunch of content. The Battle Science the May episode of the Battle Science After Dark podcast, which is Patreon exclusive. You can go to Patreon. It's public. So it's only on patreon.com/battlescience, but it's set to public. You can listen to it there. I don't remember what we were talking about. I think Zelda for the second half and something during the first half.
Was it our experience at Portland?
That might have been it. Are you kidding me? Stop letting the Bears score on you. They won the first two games 5-0, and now they're losing.
Steven's
and I don't
referencing
understand
hockey.
Don't even get me started on the Stanley Cup Finals. Don't get me started on anything.
But yes, if you want to listen to our most recent episode of the Battle Science After Dark podcast, a not-so-family-friendly podcast, we discuss some interesting topics, along with our recent addiction to Tears of the Kingdom. And I don't think we go too much into spoilers, but if we did, we kind of what's the right word I'm looking for here? We said it beforehand.
Mm-hmm. I don't have everything here. I don't have everyone's nicknames. I have some people's nicknames, but I don't have everybody's nicknames. But since Patreon's on pause, which I think, let me double check that it's actually on pause still. No, Show me later. I'll figure it. No. That's not what I'm looking for. I'll find it later. Since our Patreon's on pause while we take our little hiatus thing, by the way, this is the last episode before we go on hiatus, I will shout out all of the people that have backed us in the past. I don't have everyone's nicknames. I'll try my best. I've got Dan P, a.k.a. Sorov. I've got Depresso Espresso. I've got Jimmy Bo, I believe. I've got Evo Stevo. I've got Jamar. I've got Dolphin93. I've got Eric BN. What John's doing. I've got Arrow. We've got Andrew, who I don't remember if we ever... No, I never got a nickname for him. I've got Winston the Champ as our Patreon backers. Those are all of our Patreon backers since our Patreon is going on pause. No need to pay the $5 to get the podcast shout out for this last episode before we go on hiatus. Shouting out all of our patrons from past and present. Want to get into some stuff? Oh, shoot. You know, I should hit buttons, shouldn't I?
Yes.
That would help. I need to find my other button. Where it's right there. It's
Giddy up now. This is the news roundup.
And we're good. We're going to jump into the news roundup. I'm going to make a little note here and say that we got 7 minutes in before I hit the button. See if that will stay. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. Our first topic of the day, July 2023 Community Day Classic Squirtle. So the first Community Day of July.
Bless you. One more?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
My nose is going to sound a little clogged up. I think it's probably just all of the pollen that's been blowing all over the place.
There's been a lot.
You should see our shop floor. It has a bunch of those little puffy spore things everywhere. It's excessive. July 2023 Community Day Classic Squirtle. Sunday, July 9th, 2023 from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. Trainers. Community Day Classic returns in July. This event will feature the tiny turtle Pokemon Squirtle. We're excited to feature Squirtle, Pokemon number 000007 during the 7th anniversary of Pokemon Go. Hey, that's kind of neat. So, wait, July 9th is the 7th anniversary?
It would be the 7th, technically.
Interesting.
What are they saying specifically? Because I started to play a day before everyone.
Uh-huh.
So the official start date was 7/6.
Okay, interesting.
Or I should say the global release.
Was 7/7?
7/6.
Okay, and you played on the 5th?
Yeah.
Interesting. Why don't I check the Squirtle that I caught day 1 and see what date
Sort
I got
by
them, 'cause
recent.
That would, yeah. Sort by recent reverse.
Your trainer profile.
7/6.
Your trainer profile also says your start date.
Interesting. So Squirtle will appear. If you're lucky, you'll encounter a shiny one. Featured attack Blastoise will learn Hydro Cannon when Wartortle is evolved into it from 2 to 7 p.m. Oh, interesting. They're reducing the time afterwards, I think. No, it's because it's a classic. It's only 2 hours after.
Yep.
Because if it was a more recent community day, it would be until 10.
Like they do with Fax too.
Yeah, it's because they've got raids, though. So, dollar research. Field research will get the Squirtle wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, so discrepancy here is it will not be like the last two Squirtle events we've had where it has spawned in the wild with the glasses. This one will be normal in the wild without the glasses. And if you want specifically the Squirtle Squad sunglasses Squirtle, it'll come from field research exclusively.
It can evolve into Blastoise with the Squirtle Squad glasses.
Mm-hmm.
It will not remove or not prevent any evolution. The other thing to note here is this is exactly like the community day initially. So the Squirtle Squad sunglasses Squirtles were only in research for that community day. They were not spawning in the wild. I believe the previous instance they were spawning in the wild was the Ed Sheeran
Yep.
music video event thing.
Yep. And that was his favorite Pokemon.
That song was then featured as the credits theme for Scarlet and Violet, to my knowledge.
I think it was a different song that he sang.
Was that a different one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to say one of his songs is... No, I'm thinking of Post Malone. Post Malone's song was featured on the vinyl, the 25th anniversary vinyl.
Correct.
Now I kind of want to know.
The song was Celestial at the end of Scarlet and Violet.
Depresso Espresso, we did not get Ed Sheeran to do a cameo for us. That would be very interesting to actually try and get, just because we know Ed Sheeran is a Pokemon fan. But the last time that the sunglasses Squirtle showed up was, we believe, the Ed Sheeran featured event. I don't think, was his name in the research, or was it just like, hey, he's putting on a song in collaboration with Pokemon, here's a water type event?
I think it was part of the water type event.
That would have been this time last year, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Whack. Time flies. Time flies when you're an adult
Catching
and life
Pokemon.
sucks. That's an entirely different approach than I was going for, so okay. Event bonuses. Quarter egg hatch distance when eggs are placed in an incubator during the event period. Lure modules activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Incense, excluding daily adventure incense, activated during the event will last for 3 hours. And take a few snapshots during Community Day for during Community Day Classic for a surprise.
Is it Squirtle?
I mean, I'd hope so. If it was something else, I would be, I would actually legitimately be surprised. Maybe that's the plot twist they need to do. JDY, hello. Welcome in. Anything for you to talk about for Squirtle?
I mean, it's got a Mega. If you don't already have a good one, that's a good one to go for.
You're right. I need to go for a hundo.
Research hundo will probably be more likely than a wild catch.
I would hope so. Unless it's raining here in July in the Pacific Northwest.
Don't hold your breath.
I mean, yeah, the Pacific Northwest is known for rain and dreary conditions, but we've also less known for having just absolutely nightmarish summers.
Yeah.
So yesterday was like 80 degrees, which is somewhat reasonable, but it's a little rough.
And then now it's back down to 70.
Yeah.
Just in a day, 10.
Well, today it was upper 60s, and then tomorrow is supposed to be cooler.
Yeah. Other than the fact that this is a good chance, if you don't already, to get a Hundo Squirtle. Blastoise performs strangely in Great League.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gets outshone in Ultra by the other water starters. And if and when they decide to put in Gigantamax, it does get that too. So, but you're probably going to save your Hundo that you use for your Megas for that as well. Outside of that, I think this is probably the least excitable starter to go back to find. But it makes sense. They're doing all these water type events. It's the summer. Take the event for what it's worth. I think, honestly, if I wasn't already going to be out of town visiting family, this would be a fun one to host like a barbecue or a meetup and have people hang out. Because it seems like a very much more chilled and laid back event for a community day, if that makes sense. So make it a day, hang out with some locals, find some friends, go turn it into just a chill community day. I mean, that's kind of what it was originally as well.
What, community days were chills?
Well, just it's a community day that has a Pokemon that isn't Axew levels.
I feel it.
No, I think it's a great opportunity to connect with people that you haven't seen in a while or just hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Squirtle. Most people have a good one by now, and if you don't, it's an excuse to try hard a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hang out or just do a bunch of trades.
Yes. What do you got going on over there?
Depress Espresso is talking about asking if we were going to move to OnlyFans and put the podcast there, which the comments are making me think the doing a OnlyFans, if we do an OnlyFans podcast and Depresso Espresso was making a comment about feet pics, and I was just like, well, you could just put a webcam and aim it down your feet and just,
Well, I'm working on my OnlyFans.
Your only feet.
See, the funny thing, Despresso, is I actually make fans. That is my job. That is my living.
He works at OnlyFans. They don't only make fans, but
my department only makes fans.
He works at OnlyFans.
That's actually kind of a funny joke I can drop along with my job blows.
No. Oh, yeah. I mean, you could call it. Yeah, you could say that. No, we're not doing feet pics. My feet are gross.
You don't want to see mine.
Like 80% of the 80% of people, like especially Americans, probably have just dirty feet, and you don't want them.
I got a fungus.
I don't want to hear that.
I got a fungus among us.
Ew, gross. Gross.
Moving on.
Ew. Well, would it be considered a hot tub stream if you have that little foot bath thingy?
I actually have one of those.
I know, but is it considered a hot tub stream?
I don't know if I want to answer that.
If you put your feet in it, point your webcam towards the little foot jacuzzi.
I'm scared.
Ay. We got the energy. All right. The second primary piece of news we have: spend the perfect day or evening with Pokemon during the Solstice event. Don't look at the comments. I'm not reading that out loud. Oh. Oi. Solstice Horizons event will be coming later this week. Huh? Are you reading it or no?
Yes.
Okay, you are able to see it. Good.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not reading
The Solstice event.
Yes. Take the opportunity to see what Pokemon are active during your favorite times during the Solstice Horizons event, featuring Pokemon associated with day and night. Solstice Horizons. This is a long one from Friday, June 16th, 2023 at 10 a.m. to Sunday, June 25th, 2023 at 8 p.m. local time. This is a week in 2 days. So, for wild encounters during the day, following Pokemon will appear more frequently in the wild during the day. Also, for the first time in Pokemon Go, you'll be able to encounter shiny Fomantis if you're lucky. So we have Ladybug, Murkrow, Solrock, Drifloon, Purloin, Sewaddle, Cottony, Petalil, and Fomantis. And some trainers might even encounter the following: Hisui and Sneasel, which is very important. This is the first time that Hisui and Sneasel is spawning in the wild and not only out of 7K eggs. By the way, everything except for Sewaddle and Petalil have shinies available. The night encounters, which aren't as good personally, aren't as good maybe. Also, because it's summer up here in the northern hemisphere, it doesn't turn to quote unquote night until
like after 8.
Yeah, very late. And like by the time I wake up at like 5:20, I think it's already considered
sunny
day.
again.
Yeah, so it's interesting to split between day and night spawns, but timing wise, I just don't think it's safe to do that. So, but your wild encounters for the night are Oddish, Spinarak, Mischievous, Lunatone, Stunky, Venipede, Fungus, Fantup, Fomantis, and some trainers might even encounter Sneasel. By the way, everything here is shiny except for Stunky and Fantup. I guess I failed to mention that Hisuian Sneasel is not available as a shiny. And I also, for one reason or another, thought that shiny Stunky was already out. But I guess it's not. So that's good to know. Yes, Hisuian Sneasel evolves into Sneasler. Poison fighting, like Toxicroak. Great moveset. Do you want to pull up its moveset for me?
Sure.
First time in the wild, so you don't have to get first level friends with somebody that's low level that hatched it at a lower level than is possible for anyone above 36.
Do you want Sneasel or do you want Sneasler?
Sneasler. Give me
So
that
for
juice.
Sneasler, you have fast moves are Poison Jab, Rock Smash, or Shadow Claw.
It's beautiful.
Charge moves are Aerial Ace, Close Combat, and X Scissor.
You gotta love it. What's Hisuian Sneasel? If you've got it there.
Sneasel is Poison Jab or Rock Smash. Aerial Ace, Close Combat, X Scissor.
Okay, so about the same. JDY is saying, check the sims on Sneasler versus Shadow Gallade if you want to see something. I'm curious. Do you want me to pull that up?
Yep.
I will do so in a separate tab. Battle, single battle.
I'm imagining it just fasts it down, but it's like a speed battle. What is it? Speed run for Shadow.
Gallade Shadow. Oh, wow. One. It's 2 confusion. Because it's fighting poison. It is uber weak. That is 2. Yeah, that makes sense. What's regular Gallade? Does it go up to 3? Yeah, it gets to 3. You do get time for an X Scissor. That is a nightmare. I'm curious what's a primary?
Confusion user Hypno.
Yeah, I'm curious now. How absolutely disgusting is this? 4. Takes 4.
Hypno's not as attack weighted. If you're
It's
going
true.
for an attack weighted confusion user, you could also say something like Gardevoir. It does have it. Probably resist. No, it's running Poison Jab, so that'd be interesting.
Gardevoir. I want confusion. And it only takes 3.
Change it to Shadow.
You get an X Scissor. You do get an X Scissor off as Sneasler. So good for you.
Still 3.
No. Oh, let's switch over to Charm. Stop
Oh.
switching over. 2. 2. Shadow Gardevoir hits a 2. 2-fer.
All right.
That's gross. Well, be careful there, but
In limited metas, Sneasler has performed very well.
it's been banned. So it's something to look out for.
Also, going back to the announcement for the event for the Solstice on the Wild Spawns, did you list the event bonuses yet, or is that farther down?
Farther down.
Okay. From this list, there are a few things that are worth catching. Can you scroll back up to the day real quick? So for the day side, with Shadow Ladybug coming into the picture here soon, I think stocking up on XLs for Ledian is a good idea. Another thing you were looking at here earlier was the matchup for Little Cup for Ledian as well. Again,
No. It was Shadow Ladybug
right,
versus Tackle Bronzor.
right,
And in the one shield, Ladybug wins.
right. But to build that, it's going to require a good amount of energy Stardust and Candy. Other things from the day cycle, Fomantis is not terrible.
It doesn't need XL.
It doesn't.
Doesn't need XL for Little Cup.
And Drifblim,
It really doesn't. Oh my goodness.
Drifloon also recently just got a new move, both on Drifloon itself and Drifblim. They both just got access to Mystic Fire.
Oh, that's right.
So stock up on those for the XLs for Ultra League if you want to run Drifblim Ultra League, or even Drifloon and Little Cup. From you want to scroll back down, and then obviously Sneasler, Hisuian Sneasel, grab those. In the Knights area, Spinnerack and Ariados, I've actually used Spinnerack and Little Cup just as a fun, spicy Poison Sting, Cross Poison, and I want to say Lunge. I don't think it's Lunge, though. Maybe it is.
Spinnerack?
Yeah, on Spinnerack.
I don't know.
Other than that, Fantup, if you really want to still kind of build a Trev, if you don't already have a good one. Fungus is a good one to get for the event bonus as well. That'll probably be the one I'm focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
And then regular Sneasel, if you want to get extra candy for your Hisuian cousins, you can get extra XLs there. If you want to be crazy and run a XL Sneasler. Or you can even build good ones for raids because they are one of the highest damage outputs as a dark and or ice type with Weavile in raids. But the other ones, I really feel like we're going to see a Venipede Community Day at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, unless you're going to be crazy and build an XL Oddish or Gloom for some weird meta, go crazy on that. Mischievous Lunatone, don't really need them, don't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, if any indication of what they've been doing lately, do you think Fluttermane is a separate thing?
Oh, it's a great question. If it has the same shared candy. Do you know if... No, they don't have their own candies in TM crafting and Scarlet and Violet. So I'm going to assume that they will have... I assume they're going to behave a lot like the other regional forms, where they'll have a shared candy pool.
Cleavor is a good example. But that's not a paradox. That's a...
Right, but like Sneasel and Hisuian Sneasel, and then Weavile and Sneasler, like they share the same candy pool.
Yeah.
So
in Scarlet and Violet, there are new spoilers. There are new Pokemon.
Game's been out for like
I know, but there's
3+
some people
months.
that'll be like, "Oh, spoiler."
Not
there are
not that it's going to tell us and listen to the podcast.
There are
Sorry,
new
folks.
Pokemon, and they are either from the past or the future. In the Scarlet version, there is it's Ghost Fairy, right?
Which one?
Fluttermane?
Yes.
Fluttermane is a distant relative of the Mischievous line, and it is very good and competitive right now for the VGC. We don't know if that'll translate over, but there's a chance that that comes over eventually in Pokemon Go. If you're someone that likes to prepare for the future, catch a bunch of Mischievous.
Just have a stock of candy for it.
Other than that, Stunky, still a pretty decent performer in Great Hand Ultra League. I guess in the same vein, you could say the same thing for Fungus, because it does get the, I forget its name, but the, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Fighting Poison?
No, it's Dark.
Okay.
I want to say Dark Grass.
That sounds right. You looking it up?
No.
Do you want me to look it up?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Those are so far out that I don't think it'll matter.
I think they're sooner than you might think.
I hope so.
The
Make
Paradox
the game
Pokemon-
more interesting.
The Paradox Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet are alternate forms. Now, it's taken us a year-ish to get the
Hisui.
Hisuian forms, and even then, we don't have everything. But I think it's the Paradox forms are coming sooner than, like, the full Paldea Pokedex, so...
Yeah, where's Wooloo?
Well, I mean, it's in GBL rewards.
That's
Unfortunately.
dumb.
Yeah. I mean, no, actually, I think with the season change, I think it is in a biome. I don't know which one, though. I didn't take a look at that
later.
that infographic very studiously. All right. Here's a big thing. Prepare your butts. Special research is in the stars. Starry Skies, a new special research story starring Cosmog, will be available to trainers level 5 and up at no cost. Just log in between Friday, June 16th at 10 a.m. and Sunday, June 25th at 8 p.m. local time to begin. Plus, for $5 or the equivalent pricing tier in your local currency, you can play through Starry Skies a second time and encounter Cosmog again, which would be a third time if you participated in Go Fest this time last year.
Yeah, the research line. It was actually a whole season.
That's right. Didn't it culminate with Go Fest?
Yeah.
Okay. You can purchase a ticket for a second go at the special research story during the event and until Sunday, June 25th at 8 p.m. local time. Ticket holders will gain access to the special research story during the Solstice Horizons event. To receive the special research, you must open Pokemon Go at some point between Friday, June 16th at 10 a.m. and Sunday, June 25th at 8 p.m. local time. After you've received the special research, you can complete it at any time. Early access plus a big discount on the web store, exclusive Solstice box. Need some extra items to make the most of the Solstice Horizons event. Trainers who use the Pokemon Go web store will get exclusive early access to a discounted Solstice box 2 days before it hits the in-game shop. Asterisk. Special bundle includes the following: 3 remote raid passes, 9 super incubators, 9 golden raspberries. Head on over to the Pokemon Go web store. Grab these great items at a deep discount.
Spoiler alert, it's $10.
So rather than 5, it's 10.
No, for the box. The early access thing. It's
okay.
$10 for all those items.
Okay. Which is
You're saving about $5.
interesting.
Was the value trade I read up on Twitter.
Okay. Event bonuses. 2 times Stardust for catching Pokemon. This is for the entire event, not necessarily for purchased only. Lunatone and Solrock will both appear in the wild during the event regardless of your location because they are technically regional, but will rotate between one hemisphere and the other. So, also, if you didn't hear that Pokemon Go has a web store, you can go to their online portal via their website and purchase in-game items for theoretically less. I don't actually know how much less because when I looked when they first released it, it really wasn't changed all that much. Which is
I want to
unfortunate.
say at most it's like a 5% savings.
It's not a whole lot, but the reason they do that, if you don't know, is because the Apple Store and the Google Play Store and whatever other store they're on, because they're being hosted by those web stores or those app stores take like a 30% cut. It's the same on both sides. The web store allows them to sell in-game items without having a 30% cut taken. So it is a little bit of a discount to you, but it does mean that Niantic is making more money from it. So you're paying a little less, but you're paying more of that less to Niantic.
And you can't use your Google Play points.
You can't use your Google Play points. You have to use hard-earned money. Raids. 1-star raids. Sneasel, Hisuian Sneasel, Rockruff, and Fomantis. 3-star raids. Noctowl, Espeon, Umbreon, and Staraptor. 5-star raids. Nihiligo with a shiny debut or no?
Yep.
Okay, shiny debut on Nihiligo. And mega raids. Mega Sceptile. Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree.
The funny thing about the shiny Nihiligo is there was an episode in the anime where, without saying too much, because it's a really good episode. It's the newer adventures.
Is it the Alola series?
No, it's after that. It's the Go series. It's, I want to say, near the ending of the whole Ash arc itself, before he becomes champion. He goes back and visits with Lily and Gladion and that family. And there's a really cool interaction with Lily and Nihiligo, unlike her mom's interaction.
Because that's the same-ish in the game as it is in the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which I don't know if we'll ever see anything like that in Go. It would be cool to have that kind of cosmetic, that kind of outfit, but I don't think they'll ever put that kind of thing.
But yeah, there's the shiny Nihilego is the same white and gold trim that Lily's dress is.
Okay. Does she have a... I don't know if you would know. The Pokemon Masters EX, does she have a sync pair with like a shiny... what's it called?
Nihilego?
Nihilego? Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I imagine Lusamine has a sync pair with Nihilego.
I don't play it, so I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah,
if
it's
not, they will in the future.
Yeah, it's a character based. Seems, I mean, interesting enough. Though there's always other games for me to play, so I haven't played it yet. And I'm behind, so I'll be missing a bunch of characters, and all of the game mechanics and everything will probably not be as clear to me. Field research task encounters. Solstice Horizons themed field research tasks will be available. Among other rewards, you might encounter the following Pokemon when you complete field research tasks. Fomantis. And if you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny one. They're really telling you if Fomantis is...
We gave it leafage. Please use it.
Fomantis' shiny is out, which I don't even know what Fomantis shiny
It's
is.
actually pretty good. I like that it trades the pink.
I'm going to look it up. Fomantis shiny. Oh, it turns green. It turns
Sprite
green and
can
yellow.
green.
That's pretty. Open image, a new tab. Sure, that'll work. Spoink. That is a nice shiny.
Dartrix.
Oh, and hey, by
Guess
the
who's
way,
back?
in the second half of the event, Team Go Rocket will take over Wednesday, June 21st at 12 a.m. to Sunday, June 25th at 11:59 p.m.
You know what's funny?
Hmm.
That actually fits with Giovanni because he's a ground type user. I could see him using Regirock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would love to see him give Shadow Nidoqueen or Nidoking like he has in the main series games, but that's never going to happen. Would a Nidoran male be his partner Pokemon from like when he first became a trainer?
No, he had a Charmander.
Oh, he started with a Charmander? Oh, it's adorable. I say that with sarcasm. I don't know if you caught that. Save Shadow.
Still the same GDY.
Save Shadow Regirock. You may have a rocky road to victory ahead. Haha, that's funny because his town is right next to Victory Road in Kanto, too. That's a triple entendre. Way to go, dudes. Way to go, writer. I don't know if they even planned that as the triple entendre. They probably only planned it as a double entendre. Entendre. As you face off against Giovanni and his Shadow Regirock, a new special research story will be available at the beginning of this event. Progress through it to receive a Super Rocket Radar and chase down Giovanni. You can claim this special research until the end of Pokemon Go Hidden Gems on September 1st at 10 a.m. local time.
With this event, I will be 2 away from having my outfit.
Oh, yeah, the Giovanni outfit. Very nice.
Some people are getting it now because they bought the event tickets and had the other access to rockets.
Additional, okay. Team Go Rocket will appear more frequently at Pokestops and in balloons. You can use a Charge TM to help Shadow Pokemon forget the Charge Attack frustration.
This is very nice. They're doing this before all the regionals.
That's true. That's true. The
Internationals, I should say.
Yeah, the international competitions, and then worlds later on. This is very important if you're looking at
That could be bringing some new, really good spice.
Whoopers. Oh, the Whoopers.
Or
Which might-
Shadow Garchomp if you want to go full.
I doubt it. I really
No.
doubt it. Hey, do you want to know what Pokemon already sounded pretty reasonable? It's your ices, your
Dugongs, Frostlass.
your Ninetales, Alolan Ninetales, and your Alolan Ninetales specifically. If people are thinking about running a Shadow Garchomp, have luck, have fun with that one, and then your Sandslash, Alolan Sandslash. Just delete
Garchomp. Yeah.
Garchomp hands. Hey, Garchomp, are you thirsty? Yeah. Here, hands glass of water with ice. Garchomp, no, dies. Shadow Pokemon. Team Go Rocket grunts, as well as their leaders, Sierra, Cliff, and Arlo, are also using different Shadow Pokemon. Help Spark, Blanche, and Candela overcome their adversaries and rescue the Shadow Pokemon. If you're lucky, you may even encounter different shiny Shadow Pokemon than normal. Additionally, Team Go Rocket has also turned the following Pokemon into Shadow Pokemon. Defeat Team Go Rocket grunts to save them. Also, Pokemon that trainers rescue from Team Go Rocket grunts may be shiny if you're lucky. So, Alolan, Geodude, Ladybug, Hitmontop, Glameow, and Gibble are being added to the Shadow Pool. What type they are being added to is kind of an interesting question. I want to say Alolan Geodude is just a rock.
It's electric rock.
It's electric rock already? Okay, so the only one that's only two that are guaranteed is Glameow's guaranteed normal, and Hitmontop is guaranteed fighting.
Yep.
Which fighting needed an update anyway. I don't love Hitmontop as a fighting type Pokemon anyway. So
it needs something mid-range. Give it like Blaze Kick, and then it'll be spicy.
Okay. So maybe I'll search for one anyway, because I know Hitmontop in general has performed.
And you can always get a decent Great League one too by purifying, getting like a 2-15-15. Other ones, Alolan Geodude is interesting. It adds some spice with its charge move options. I've never seen anybody run Perugly, and I don't think we're going to start.
No, I don't think we do.
It's just, it's a fat cat, and it could do so much better. Him on top, kind of the same boat. You're not really seeing a lot. I will say I want to say it was Boulder Cup, they were around, like the very, very beginning of Sylph. Because if you didn't have a Pseudo-Wudo, I think that was the alternative.
I don't think Alolan Geodude. Or which one?
No, just Hitmontop.
Hitmontop, that's right.
I think it was your two counter users at that time were... Or no, there was Breloom too. You could run Breloom. Shadowclaw, yeah. But Gibble is the interesting one. According to groups like with PV Poke, it's not an upgrade in PvP, but for PvE, it does add some interesting options because you can definitely use it in raids with Mudshot Earthquake as a ground type attacker. You can use it as a dragon with Dragon Tail and Outrage. One of my favorite spots that I think we'll see it is Rockets and Gyms, because you can combo Dragon Tail into Sandtomb and just go to town chipping away at the leaders and Giovanni shields with Sandtomb, and then just chip down with Dragon Tail. It is a good opportunity to also find your Hundo Garchomp if you don't have one, and that will eventually get a Mega as well. Probably going to be one of the best Megas outside of Legendaries. So I think Gibble for PvE is a definite upgrade. As far as PvP goes, Geodude's kind of interesting. Ladybug, if you want to have something if you want to get rid of your resources, collect Ladybug.
The Depresso Espresso brings up the good point. The big downside with a change up in Rocket team composition is that the Sylph Road access, or the Sylph Road webpage that had the team info updated, is no longer around. As of a month and a half ago.
But they are still on Reddit.
They're still on Reddit, but it's a Reddit thread. I don't know if they'll keep that information there. I don't know if enough people are actually submitting that information to keep that accurate. The one time I looked up an infographic to have what the research is for the seasonal, a lot of it was incorrect, which I just don't know anymore. So if you can find the right Reddit thread, then awesome. but having the website right there was a godsend. So you're gonna have to play it by ear as far as what has what. I think it's gone as of an hour ago. Ooh.
Because they officially closed the site down in August.
Okay. In August?
Yeah, after they do the self.
No, so that's Sylph.gg is going to go away in August.
Okay.
The
Sylph
Sylph
Road.
Road, I think, is already closed.
Okay.
I can check. Sylph Road. Yeah, the webpage itself is closed. You can go to your trainer card because that's still associated with Sylph.gg, but the rest of it is gone. So you and me too, Parker. You and me too. So the interesting, fingers crossed, hopefully Wooper comes back as a shadow. My thought here is that it comes back as one of the leaders Pokemons and it gets its Shadow Shiny released. Who gets it, I don't really know.
Probably Cliff.
Yeah, probably Cliff. It's been a minute since Cliff had something that was relevant. So the other, let's see. What else might we get in a rotation?
You think we see Shadow Wobbuffet come back? Wobbuffet
Maybe.
or Lapras?
Maybe. I don't know if we see Lapras. Has Seal been a shadow?
No.
Okay. I'm trying to think what would get out of the rotation here. We could see a Shuckle if Bug needs rotating. I don't see like Joltik getting moved over. It hasn't been around quite long enough as a shadow for it to get the Shadow Shiny, although realistically.
I would love Shadow Jigglypuff.
Oh. Would that be new or is that already
That would
come
be
out?
new.
Okay, yeah, I don't. I mean, they say and more, so we could get an additional 1 or 2. I don't see us getting an additional 5 new shadow Pokemon, but we could get
Watch
an
them do
additional 1 or
something
2.
dumb like Rattata or Zubat.
Well, we already have those. Oh, for the leaders, sure. Yeah. I mean, we could see Zubat as a leader Pokemon. That's not great. Shadow Shiny Wurmple would be cool. Shadow Wurmple been around?
I don't think so.
Huh. I'm a bad place to look for that, considering I have a handful of shadow Pokemon that just haven't shown up as a handful of shadow Pokemon that I just never kept. Oh, as a leader Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they would then either they would release it as shadow and keep it as the decoy grunt, or they would put it as one of the leader. I do think the decoy grunt probably does need to swap with something other than Bellsprout, but I don't know if they do that now and what they swap it to. So
I'm looking at all my shadows here, looking at what we could
okay.
potentially see.
Mm-hmm.
Give one of them Marowak.
Has one of them had Ralts before?
No.
I would be in love with that. I would adore that. I have like 6.
What about Magikarp?
Magikarp is one. Ralts is another. What was the third one we were talking about? Wooper?
Mm-hmm.
Ike.
Have any of them had Mareep?
Oh, is a lead? I don't think so. Well, if they did Mareep, Ralts, and what was the other? Magikarp. All of them have Megas.
Yep.
Which you can't have as shadows, but that it would be interesting. I one can hope.
They could. Has someone had Shinx? I feel like one of them had Shinx.
No, I don't think so.
Huh. So there's options.
Yeah.
You got a Dino in your backyard.
Oh, well. Tell that guy to get out of there.
What's he doing here?
What are you doing here? Get out of my yard! It's a mess.
Sierra had Ralts, but wasn't available as shiny because it was early in one of the.
Okay. Sorry, I'm doing my tongue click thing. I just realized I did it for a second time, and it's very loud. I don't have a sound gate that cuts it, so.
Can't wait for all the shadow picks.
Its time has come and gone, so to be honest, I don't know. What do you mean I have a Dino here? I don't see a Dino.
It's behind the C dot.
I don't see a C dot either.
Oof.
Where are you?
In your yard.
I'm going to restart my game. What in the world's going on? I see 2 Bidoof, one of which is my daily spawn.
Steven got the doof.
Yeah.
What about that next part of the rocket event that's so exciting?
Eggs. They haven't changed.
Yes, they did.
What do you mean they changed?
You can now find a shiny panda.
Shiny Pancham, which I think is red, right?
Yeah. Well, it's what do you call that? Brown red?
Burgundy?
Yeah.
Ronald?
No.
Ronald Burgundy? I think I saw Anchorman. I don't know if I ever went back and watched
You're being
Anchorman,
told to
or
quit doofing around.
I think I saw Anchorman 2, and I don't think I ever went back and watched Anchorman 1.
I've never watched either.
They are humorous.
Maroon. Yeah, that one.
Maroon. Oh, well, you know.
Pancham's black turns to maroon. Same
No,
with its
Maroon
evolution. Maroon 5.
It's Maroon 1. Dorks. Bunch of dorks. So we have the absolutely disgusting 12 Pokemon pool for 12k eggs. Larvitar, Absol, Skorupi, Sandile, Scraggy, Pawniard, Vullaby, Dino, Pancham, Inkay, Skrelp, and Salandit.
I feel like every time we come back to this list, it just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. It's
This is
quite
bigger than
dumb.
the 7K pool.
Yeah, and I wonder if there's 12 Pokemon in here because there's 12 kilometers you have to walk. Which is dumb. Which is a dumb idea, but
Take out Dino. Take out Skorupi. Take out Absol. Take out Larvitar.
so Larvitar, Absol, Skorupi. Take out Inkay. Take out Dino. Take out the things that have spawned in the wild and have had events focused on them.
Well, that'd be most of them then.
Well, yes, but that's like the point where we haven't had Sandile. Scraggy doesn't have it shiny, but oh yeah, Larvesta. I guess you could put Larvesta in here. I don't know why you would.
Please don't. Keep
But
it in
you
the 2,
could.
5, and 10s.
I don't think it is in all 3.
You can. It's just a very bad %.
Is it in all 3?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's in 10Ks. Okay, it is in 2Ks. Why? Why is that a thing that exists?
Female Salandit is a myth.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Don't worry, it'll get an event someday.
Don't get me
A
started.
Valentine's Day event.
Valentine's. Yeah, the egg pools just need updating at some point. Like, this is absolutely stupid. The Adventure Sync reward eggs. The 5K is the 2 Sinnoh fossils. So I don't remember the names. Munchlax and then babies. Oh, and by the way, male Jellicent is here. Oh, and Unovan Stunfisk, because why not? That I don't understand it. I don't understand that. And then the 10K is are you ready for community days?
Your community days pseudo legendaries?
Yeah. So you've got Beldum, you've got Gibble, you've got Ryalu, you've got Gumi, you have Rockruff, you have Dratini, and then you have Galarian. What's the thing that has the fossil on its tail? Ghost. Turns into Runerigus.
Oh, Yamask.
Yamask. It has Galarian Yamask in there too. And it's like, that's such a odd choice.
Saucy community day win.
God, tomorrow. Come find me. I will share in my supply of Stardust and we will make it Zacian Community Day. It's Stardust
Oh
is a
no,
euphemism.
shiny! I'm sorry.
Stardust is a euphemism. Any day is Zacian Community Day with enough Stardust. Please be
That's the
responsible.
best way to do it, Despresso.
Please be responsible. That is. Oof.
Overall, the Solstice event looks like it's going to be semi-interesting. If you are a battler or if you are a hoarder, here's my opinion. Go find any of your locals, scream at them, and tell them to tell you where a Staryu nest, a Staryu shelter, or mushroom nest is. And then
Bonus
just
dust.
camp there for the next 5 days.
Or start handing $5 to people and tell them I will take your extra. What's it called? Cosmog. And just amass amass an army of Lunala and
Here's
Solgaleo.
$5. Buy a ticket for me on your account and then trade this to me.
Yep. You do the work, I reap. I pay you. You do the work, I reap the rewards. Although technically they can get additional candy from those catches, so that's not. It's not a bad idea. I hate that it's not a bad idea. Kind of like that idea, to be honest.
$5 for an army of Solgaleo and Lunala.
Spend $15, get 3 different people to do. That's how I make my friends.
Raid
pay 'em.
passes? Nah, we
I'll pay
pay
'em.
$5 a pop.
I'll pay them 7. I'll give them a couple extra dollars so that I can get more. That's a racket. That's a pyramid scheme almost. It's dumb. I won't actually do that, by the way.
Go out there, collect some XL candy and dust.
Yep.
GG's.
Go have fun. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Yeah, it's got some fun spawns and some cool shinies and that stuff. So, go have fun. Take it easy. Go check out some rockets. Beat some rockets because those are always fun to absolutely annihilate. So,
Fingers crossed for good stuff.
good stuffs. Fingers crossed we get good stuffs. All right. Go Stadium. Play a Pokemon.
Fresno.
Top
Did you
cut.
watch it?
No. I didn't. Sorry. What was going on this weekend? Oh, that's right. I did nothing. I played Zelda and slept.
It was a good day.
It was good days. Top cut teams and matchups from Fresno Regionals. We're going to read. Do I read all of these teams off or I don't know.
No, I'd say top 3.
This doesn't have top 3. This just has the top 8.
Okay, well, you can say Metacham. It's on every team.
Okay, as far as I thought you were talking about finishers. But yeah, Metacham is on every team. Who would have guessed?
Trev gone. Medi stonk.
Yep. The Sableye, I think, is the next highest. It is on every team except for 1. Let's see. Noctowl is on every team except for 2. That's gross, by the way. That is disgusting. And Registeel is on every team but 1. Also gross. That's and the one team that doesn't have Registeel. The one. You want to know what his replacement is?
What?
Told you tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
It's beautiful. Let's see here. Let's see. We got a couple of lickies. We got 3 lickies. We got a Bastiodon, but it's Caleb Pang, so of course it's a Bastiodon. If he reached top cut, then Bastiodon reaches top cut. It's one of those ones that he probably knows the Bastiodon matchups by heart, where like he knows all of the scenarios. Like any instance where he throws out Bastiodon, he like jacks into the Matrix and like sees all of the code because he's like used Bastiodon for years. We have one Dugong. Congratulations. Caleb and double steal. Yeah, he's running Steelix and Bastiodon. Way to go.
Registeel.
What did I say?
Steelix.
Oh, yeah, that's not right.
No, that's you and the 1%.
Yeah. The only one that ran Steelix in Portland or Vancouver. Depresso Espresso, if you got one close and it's not $70, which who am I kidding? It's probably $70. Go have fun. It's enjoyable. Or just go as a spectator because the spectator pass is like $5.
Spectator pass is awesome because then you can go do all the side events.
Yeah. I mean, you also have to pay for side events, but
Right, but
know.
you get to pick those.
Yeah. Fresno. Oh, so you missed it. Oh, Depresso Espresso. Well, if you need a battle buddy, then just give us a call. We can like come hang. We'll figure it out. Yeah, so the meta has changed, but it changed back. Not Fresno, yes. Well, Depresso Espresso, come up to Portland or go up to Canada. Get your maple syrup on. Yeah.
Come up and get Tim Hortons with us.
Yes. And if you want, you can get a lot of maple syrup and do whatever you want to with in your own hotel room. I won't tell you what you can or can't do with all that maple syrup. It's up to you.
You can pour it all over your pancakes.
Yeah.
What did you think I was going to say?
Literally
this is the Battle Science Podcast.
Literally anything.
We're a family-friendly podcast.
You know. I can't. Don't you dare say that out loud, Jesse. You can't read that comment out loud.
Bidoof.
Shut up. Shut up.
I got it.
We're on one this evening. It's great.
I gotcha.
Oh, no. Don't you? Okay. It's all really bad. It's all really bad. Oy.
The dessert thing.
Woof.
Steven's more Canadian than I am, so I don't know.
What do you mean I'm more Canadian than you are? I wasn't adopted by a Canadian or anything. I have a Canadian friend. He brings down coffee crisp every time.
Oh, coffee crisps. You got me addicted to those. Those were good.
It's pretty tasty. It's like a wafer cookie with coffee like stuff on the inside and it's covered in chocolate.
It's a Kit Kat.
Kind of. It's a lighter Kit Kat with coffee.
It's Kit Kat with less chocolate.
Kit Kat with less chocolate and more wafer and less chocolate. And
there was
bits.
some tomfoolery about.
It was fun.
Eh?
Canada was fun.
Yeah.
So our meta has switched back to
Sable Medicore.
Yep. Hoot Hoot's here. Or not Hoot Hoot. Noctowl's here. Noctowl's here because it got better with Shadow Ball. Galarian Stunfisk is here because once it showed up, it never went away. I don't think it'll ever go away, really.
Not unless we get something that just walls it.
Although, surprisingly, it's on one team. It's only on one team? What? Y'all are dumb. Y'all are dumb. Why are... What?
Registeel just has better neutrality.
Then people aren't running double steel.
And
Wild.
because Noctowl can Shadow Ball it down. And what does everyone have on their team for most parts? Noctowl.
Wait, Noctowl can Shadow Ball down.
Stunfisk.
Doesn't Stunfisk get to Rock Slides faster?
Yes, but it outbulks it.
Interesting. Huh.
It's IV dependent.
Okay, I would not have guessed that, but...
But in most scenarios, Noctowl in an even match, like let's say a lead, can out damage in the no shield.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that was the last regional, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
American Regional? Potentially.
So now we're looking at NAIC next.
Which is happening the last weekend in June. Well, actually, we've got dates here coming up.
Okay. But they just changed the season. So if we're going to see a move change, it won't be until after Worlds.
Yes.
Any other potential meta shifts are not going to happen until probably August or September when we get the new season.
September. It's going to be September because this season is June, July, August. And Worlds is in August
Right.
because it's happening over one of the.
So if there's going to be any changes in the meta up until that point, it'll have to be either something that's newly introduced
Mm-hmm.
with some sort of event, or something becomes incredibly accessible that makes people shift what they use.
Mm-hmm.
Like one example could be GoFest this year will feature Pachirisu.
Mm-hmm. That's
That-
true. Making that more available might change some things around.
Yeah.
So JDY point says they need to decimate counter. It's time. Make low sweep, rock smash, double kick really good. Distribute. So here's the problem with that. It's just inverting. If they boost low sweep, rock smash, and double kick, if they make those better and nerf counter, it just changes what fighters are up top. I think the reason we see counter is a really broad nerf that sure will affect Metacham, but the problem with that is that it affects so much other stuff.
Honestly, they could shift meta just by removing Ice Punch or Psychic.
Yeah, removing Psychic might be. Honestly, the thought is removing Ice Punch because it makes it such a well-rounded Pokemon that has counters to its own.
Yeah.
It's got a great counter to its own counters. There's the only thing, as I was talking to you earlier, the only thing that Metacham fears currently is Fairy and Ghost. And we don't see a whole lot of Ghost.
You got Jellicent, you got Sableye, and you got
Sableye. Sableye's it. Because Trevenant got nerfed. Unless people are willing to run Trevenant still, because it's still all right.
Yeah, but then you still got to worry about the Ice Punch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's got that coverage. So we need either a better Ghost type, or we need Fairies to be better, which means you need to nerf Steel. Or you need to boost counter users. Give more things counter. So then nerf Steel.
Make Dig better.
Yeah, that would work
I mean,
too.
they kind of did with Mud Bomb. They readjusted Mud Bomb, and it needed something.
Mm-hmm.
And we are seeing an uptick in Mud Bomb users with Quagsire now, and I've actually seen a lot more Ufisk.
Mm-hmm. It's the problem I think currently that Metacham just has.
It's just too good.
It's too good in the current meta. It specifically needs to be changed, or you change the entire format of Pokemon Go PvP, which is not. I think would make the meta way too volatile. Is that we then have like no ground to stand on as far as like what what is the meta. So
I would be interested to plug in PvPoke if you removed Ice Punch from Medi, how the meta would change overall.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dispresso, we've stood on that rock for many years that when PvP was first introduced, we said counter is the building blocks on which PvP is built upon.
Mm-hmm. It's the bedrock. Yeah, it's a new volatile meta would be amazing. Well, so here's the thing. I don't think
Then people just cry about it being RPS.
Well, I mean, that's what people do already. So I don't. That doesn't change. What changes is the understanding of what PvP is and the overall balance to the point where it then doesn't become beginner friendly. So and this becomes interesting to compare.
Did you read that article I sent you about that?
Which one?
About the barrier to entry?
When did you send me that?
It was the article from the one player from...
Oh, no, I didn't get a chance to read that one.
That's too bad.
No. The really complicated thing with Pokemon Go PvP is it's linear and there's going to be power creep. Whereas if you look at the other competitions within the Play Pokemon circuit, the VGC will change with different metas as Pokemon are introduced or reintroduced into each game and then refreshed with every new game. I'm not going to get into the conversation of was it Format D? The Format D for the VGC and how absolutely disgusting and gross that is.
That's
But
the newest one.
That's the newest one. But it does change the meta.
Oh yeah,
It
drastically changes
it forcibly changes the meta. The previous stuff, the power creep then increases. But with every new with each new release in the main series games in which the Play Pokemon circuit transitions to, it changes the meta.
I mean, that's the interesting thing, though, with that format that's we're speaking of on the VGC is Pokemon Home opened up to Scarlet and Violet. Therefore, things from other games, other generations have now flooded into the meta and are overwhelming people because they're not ready for it.
Well, but I think the format works. VGC works out because they can refresh it with a new release. Pokemon Go won't get a Pokemon Go 2.
No.
We won't get a Pokemon Go Scarlet and Violet where it's a different Pokedex.
Well,
All
I
of the
should
Pokemon that are in
say-
the Pokedex currently are eligible
Right.
until they come to a point where they say it's only this generation or the top cut Pokemon are the top 20
So
from the top cut
that
are
was
banned.
Premier Cups, right?
I don't know if that was what they called, but until Play Pokemon establishes that rule, it's the same thing with TCG where every once in a while the sets will rotate. Now, I'm not familiar with how they establish what the rotation is. I thought it was like Magic, but it turns out it's not like Magic where it's like the last 3 sets.
Yeah,
the
it's
last
not
6
blocks.
Sets. It's not blocks. It is, but it's not that same format. Pokemon Go doesn't have that, and Pokemon Go won't have that, unfortunately.
No, but what I was trying to say was the most recent change in VGC, any prior generation where they've allowed past Pokemon to come in, that sets the foundation for what the rest of that game's lifetime's meta is going to be.
Right. Right, which is then kind of what we get in Pokemon Go, where we have...
It's going to be these top 8
Yeah.
for as long as until something like G-Fisk is introduced.
Where then the meta just shifts
Changes
slightly.
around that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the meta, the Play Pokemon circuit was like Kyogre Groudon for a while as like really good, and then Regieleki shows up and is just like the speediest, hardest hitting Pokemon. So
to respond to D'Espresso, want to play Magic? I'm always down to play Magic.
I'm building that deck though.
Yeah?
I should show you the couple of singles I got. They haven't arrived yet, but I can show you the receipt. I'm starting to build that deck. I won't talk about that deck in much. But
D'Espresso, Commander Time. Do you like Nikasaur? Do you like going fast?
the Play Pokemon Circus, the Play Pokemon circuit for Pokemon Go, you either need to do a complete meta shift, or you need to either make modifications around the basis that counter is going to stay, which means you need to like increase poisons, you need to increase ghosts, you need to strategically implement new Pokemon in that are going to change the meta. Like Palisand is one that like theoretically might be good, but it's also ground, is going to be weak to ice. So you need like a pure ghost type that's going to really perform, or a ghost water, or something that's not going to be weak to ice. Because like Drifloon could be really good, but then
Ice and Rock exists everywhere.
well, ice and rock exists everywhere. But like if Medicham didn't have Ice Punch, so you can either hard target Medicham,
which I think is the thing that needs to happen.
but here's the downside: it's then going to boost the stonks of Steel.
Not necessarily. You have ground and you have water types. They'll become more relevant.
Yeah, but then we just go back to Swampert, which I guess isn't a bad thing,
No.
because now we leave the Medicham era.
But then you could also bring fires into the equation.
No one's going to bring fires.
No.
Unless you buff fires.
Yeah,
not
that's what
gonna
needs
get
to happen.
fires.
Fire and electric need to get better.
Yeah.
Give us Turtonator, cowards.
Oh, that's the gross thing. That's right. Because now, like, Medicham and Noctowl are like soft counters to each other.
Yeah.
Because Noctowl,
Yeah.
because Noctowl is neutral to counter, but has Shadow Ball to beat Medicham. But then Medicham is like soft hitting with counter,
Mm-hmm.
and then has Ice Punch to hard counter.
Yep.
Then how many shields do you have? But then it's still weak to Sky Attack because it's still fighting.
He's
And
learning.
And it's like just it's dumb. You're right, it's dumb. But like even removing Ice Punch, like I don't think that changes the meta.
That's
grand
just
scheme
in
of things.
particular against Noctowl because it's a neutral matchup. If you look at other things like Pelipper, it loves that Medicham loses Ice Punch.
That's true. Yeah. Make Frostlass great again. Wait, what was the powdered snow adjustment? What killed it?
What, Frostlass?
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I think people
It's
just
not.
moved on to something else.
It's G-Fisk.
Yeah, that's true. Which isn't G-Fisk and
It gets to Rock Slide
Steelix.
faster than it gets to Shadow Ball. And no one's going to take a bait on Frostlass on a G-Fisk.
I don't think it's a matter of the meta's reached a point of no return. I think somebody needs to look ahead at the Pokemon that haven't been released, plug them into the CP calculator,
See how they perform before just
see how they
hitting them
perform theoretically within Go.
give them the moves that everyone wants, test it, then decide if you're going to make them super relevant like Halucha.
I just want to see like bulk points and everything.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Halucha could be really good.
Yeah.
But it has bad moves.
And it's exclusive.
And it's exclusive, which I don't think means it's banned. It just means that people aren't running it. So,
I mean, the Galarian birds are banned if that's an example of something for accommodation.
yeah. I mean, in Galarian Zapdos is cool. So cool.
Counter drill pick, close combat, I think.
Something like that. It's exciting.
Every time I see someone run Buzzwole, I just want to scream, Buzz Lightyear!
They're you either hard focus on Medicham and it adjusts the meta, which I don't think it adjusts the meta that much because it's still a very, very good Pokemon. You
Ban XL. You can only run non-XL.
I mean, is that terrible though? Is that really that bad though? Because I don't know if that is. I don't know if that's the end of the world.
Plus, if you have the Hundo and you're already going to use it for Mega, you might as well.
It's complicated. You could hard target Medicham and adjust its moveset. You could target counter, which then hits Medicham, but it hits
every
literally
fighter
everything
behind it.
else. Literally everything else and things that aren't even fighters. So Sudowoodo goes
Deoxys.
down. Deoxys goes down, which, I mean, honestly, that's not a bad thing.
Obstagoon goes down.
Obstagoon goes
Vigoroth
down.
goes down.
Bye. All of your fighters, so Machamp. What's the ape?
Primeape.
Scraggy. Down. Scrafty, go down. A lot. Buzzwole, well, yeah. A lot. If you nerf counter, a lot goes down. What takes its
Toxicroak.
place? Yeah. Yeah, what takes that place? Like, I just don't know if there's
Rock
anything that-
Smash.
I don't think that you get that same performance. Great League Remix.
Was it Remix that I'm thinking of? Is that the format where
That
they
might-
ban
yeah.
the top?
Where they ban the top 20 or whatever? That would be interesting, but I don't know if they would. It's That would be very complicated.
If only they could do targeted nerfs.
It's very complicated.
They wrote the system and they were like, we're never changing this.
I mean, they've modified some things. Like they could maybe decrease the damage a little bit. They could maybe nerf the energy gain. They drop it down a point or two. I'm terrified as to what that changes though.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we have a solid enough rest of the meta to really allow that. I think steals will then just become a lot more
think the
popular.
issue is the things that we expect the things to beat: electric, fire, ice.
These things on the fringes that theoretically would be really good.
They just don't have the stats.
They don't have
based on their species.
They don't got the stuff. Yeah, and that's the downside of the way that Go is formatted in PvP.
Because we don't get stats. And electric and fire and grass all use stats in the main series.
They use status conditions and stuff. Yeah, that's the big
Flying, water, ground, steel, and fighting are all just strength. And that correlates well for them in Go.
thing. Oof.
What's up?
Vegas has won the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
They have 8 minutes left, but they're up 7-2. That's a shame. That's a shame.
Is your dog dreaming?
Yeah, probably.
He's twitching.
Yeah. Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Terrible.
He's doing tiny little kicks in his sleep.
In before 7-8 loss.
Yeah. It's complicated. We could spend all evening talking about this.
Yeah.
North America International, your casters for... I'm going to be absolutely atrocious for this. Let's see. I'm going to go in reverse order because I know this direction. Pokemon Unite, Kirk Dubé, Joshua Herbert, and Evan Hashimoto are your casters for Pokemon Unite at the North American International competition. Your Pokemon Go casters are Steven Sanders, Caleb Pang, Will Dunphy, and Gabby Snyder. Your
BGC.
Yes, your VGC are Scott Glaza, Joe Brown, Rosemary Kelly, Adam Dorcott, and Sierra Dawn. And your TCG shoutcasters are Adam Watson. Are they shoutcasters for TCG?
Yeah.
Okay. Casters. Because I don't think there's a whole lot of shouting going on in TCG. I don't think there's that much. As I've talked about it before, it's a lot like golf commentating than it is. The atmosphere is a lot like golf than it is like a North American large sport, mainline sport.
Your commentators.
Yes. Adam Watson, Shelby Bo, I'm sorry, I'm butchering names here. Jeremy Jalen, Chip Ritchie, and Pablo Meza are your TCG casters for North American International Championships.
I won't lie.
Mhm.
I'm actually kind of curious to see what time they run Unite. I might watch that.
Well, I'm glad you asked because I have the live stream information for the North American International Championships for 2023.
I didn't intentionally make that a segue. I was actually genuinely curious.
It's beautiful. I appreciate you. Columbus, Ohio. These are in Pacific Daylight Time. We're to watch Pokemon Go or Pokemon TCG. Dedicated streams, twitch.tv/Pokemon TCG. Friday, June 30th from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Day 1 Swiss rounds. Saturday, July 1st, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, these are PST. JDY, have fun if you were going to, since you're going to the internationals. Go have fun in Ohio. Saturday, July 1st, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Day 2 Swiss rounds and top 8 and top 4. And then the finals are on Sunday, July 2nd from 8 to 11:30 a.m. Pokemon VGC is at twitch.tv/Pokemon. Friday at 6 till 5 with your day 1 Swiss rounds. Excuse me. Saturday, day 2 Swiss rounds from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again.
You know, after going to Portland, anybody that plays in the VGC or the TCG, you are troopers getting up that early to be there on time.
It's gross. I don't envy you. And then Sunday, July 2nd is the finals from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. My biggest problem is that some of these... Oh, no, they're not crossing over. Well, would you look at that? Nope, Pokemon Go crosses over, time-wise. I hate... That's annoying. No, it's 6 a.m. No, they don't. They don't cross over. Huh. All right. Pokemon Go, twitch.tv/Pokemon Go. Friday from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. group stage. 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. is the bracket stage until top 3. And then your finals begin at 6 a.m. Sunday, July 2nd. That's PST.
Ohio's Mideast.
Yes. North of Kentucky.
Yeah, so that makes sense. For them, it's like, what, 9?
Yeah, it's 2 hours ahead. I don't
So
know
they'd
if
be
it's
starting
quite
at
3
8?
hours. I believe so.
That's pretty early. Oof.
Yeah. Where to watch Pokemon Unite? Twitch.tv/Pokemon Unite. Friday, June 30th from 6 a.m. to noon. Winners round 1 and 2, and losers round 1. And then Saturday, July 1st, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., losers quarterfinals to grand finals. So they've already had a lot of their previous tournaments. So they will be wrapping up their internationals. I don't quite understand how that format works out then.
For which one? For Unite?
For Unite, yeah. As far as like you don't have a group stage. You have winners round 1 and 2 and then losers round 1. Like how do people then get into winners and losers? Is there a tournament ahead of time?
Yeah,
like,
they've been running a tournament for the last 3 months.
okay, like a large scale tournament?
Online only.
Interesting. I would have been interested to see the Halo Championship Series does regionals throughout the season that you, I think, accrue points to go to.
Yeah, it's just like the
Worlds.
locals that we're going to.
Uh-huh.
The regionals, you can just earn more points.
Interesting. And then there was a tournament to determine winners and losers for continentals.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a separate invite. Regionals versus locals have different invite power.
Interesting. Well, there's your option there at twitch.tv/Pokemon Unite, and you can go watch.
Yeah, I would just like to see how the meta's changed since when I played.
I've heard the new EVs are fun.
Yeah. I was a Snorlax main through and through. Body block, shove them into your team. Watch them scream. The one thing I hate about MOBAs, though, is when they start introducing the characters that have just hit and run tactics, like super burst mobility. Because then when you're playing someone slow and tanky like Snorlax, you're just kind of like, I can't.
Yes. So in how far out?
Smash main, I am a heavy character.
In 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, we will have the North American International Championships. So.
I've got Elite Smash on Bowser, DDD, and what was the other one? Samus. But yes, some of those names, some of those folks for the GoCast, the Go Shoutcasters, we've had the pleasure of working with.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see who all goes to Japan to Shoutcast. Considering Japan is Worlds, and Caleb Peng has an invite to Worlds now. So Caleb Peng will be participating in Worlds, hypothetically speaking, which is exciting. But also, like, who all do you have to fill in for Worlds? Do you have then multiple language shoutcasts? I'm curious to see.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
think
I paid enough attention for the London content last year.
I think they have separate announcers. I think we see the North American, or I think we see the English announcers, and then like different regions see their normal announcers.
It's exciting. We have a little ways off. That is also the 4th of July weekend, so depending on your work schedule, you might have a ton of availability to watch these. So, yeah, it's exciting. That's all I got. That's all we got for News Roundup. I know we have a community question thing from... Who was it?
The only one that responded was Winston the Champ.
Was that on Discord?
No, Twitter.
Oh, okay. Because I want to say somebody posted...
No one responded on Discord. I put it under podcast discussion.
Oh. Okay. Because I saw IMX Quinn commented. But there wasn't a question for us to address on the podcast.
No, they were just thanking for what we do.
You said it was on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
You pulling it up?
I can.
Do you want to pull? I don't know the exact wording, so if you want to pull it up and read it off. Because you've got your answer. I don't know if I have an answer for it.
So our question
The question to us,
was,
which I guess applies to everyone else too, because everyone else is in the same position too.
the question from Winston the Champ was, what was your favorite PvP memory, self-related?
You want to go first because I don't have one.
Sure. I think for me, it was self in general. We wouldn't have got our start doing what we're doing here tonight if it weren't for self. I think my favorite part of it has been the fact that we have been able to travel far and wide and meet so many different people, see so many different age ranges, and all enjoy the same game. We've gone and met up with, I think our first people that we went out, was it Kirkland or was it Monroe?
What do you mean?
The first group that we PvP'd with outside of the valley.
That we
I
played
want to
PvP with?
say, yeah,
That
I
was
want to
Seattle.
Was it Seattle?
It was the tournament stream, wasn't it?
No, you're right. Yeah. So it would have been at the Veterans for War, the Boulder Cup, with Friskachu and the Seattle Pokemon group.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, it's there. It's around.
Okay.
Not the PvP side, though. The other groups we've met up with have been the Monroe Pokemon Go group,
Mm-hmm.
Jamar, and a bunch of the others out there in the Kirkland group.
Mm-hmm.
We went to, we've been in Renton a couple of times, not necessarily for Pokemon Go tournaments, but for other events and for like the league meetup we did last weekend. I think it was last weekend. That was 2 weekends ago now. We went down to Tacoma once to play in a PvP tournament, multiple times out at Seattle. Just the ability to go to these things and hang out with these people and the friendships that we've made. Not to mention the one time we did go out to Tacoma, and then obviously these big mega tournaments that we've gone to with, it was Infusion, right? The bar in Seattle for the Cascadia Clash.
No. Infusion is not the name of it. It is Optimism.
Optimism, thank you.
So we went to Optimism for
The Kingdom Cup.
No, Tempest.
No, you're right, Tempest. Okay.
Optimism was Tempest. It was the trial run for self-doing the battle towers. And then was a couple months later that they did the Portland tournament, which was the first of the battle towers. And technically the second one of two, because I think they only ever did one before the pandemic. And then they did the second one after somewhat recently in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't get to do, and I don't think they even branded it as a battle tower, but they did a mega tournament there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
no, I
then-
take that back. So they branded Portland as a battle tower. It wasn't the only quote-unquote mega tournament.
There was one in Florida, too.
There's one in Florida. There's one in California. And then I think there was one more after the fact, and I feel like it was like Northeast.
Was it Chicago?
There might have been one in Chicago. It was up there, and I want to say Miss Mystic ran stream for it.
Okay.
But
But
I
I
don't,
think-
I don't remember what the particular location was.
When it comes to saying my favorite self-memory, I think just the ability to do what we've done has been my favorite memory. To go to all these different tournaments, to play with all these different people, to have these experiences that, and I know this sounds incredibly cheesy, but the ability to hang out and battle with other people. You know, when the pandemic kicked in and we all got pushed to doing, Self Arena could have easily ended there because they were really pressed to do these tournaments in person. And some people had started playing remote tournaments so they could do megas and stuff. But I'm thankful that they allowed us to do the remote tournaments as long as we had the pandemic going on. And it was even then still a way to stay connected with other people, to still be engaged and competitive in the game. And I'm just thankful for Sylph in general. It has been such... I don't think PvP would be where it is now if it wasn't for it.
No, I don't know if Pokemon Go would really be in the same space as it would be if Sylph Arena and PvP didn't kind of launch off. So I don't think GBL would have, because GBL wasn't around when PvP first started.
No.
I don't think GBL would have. GBL might have been in initial stages when PvP first came out, but I don't know if it would have been hit with the same excitement if Sylph Arena didn't show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, literally all of the tournaments we ever went to, I think in person kind of stick in my brain. So any of the ones that we streamed,
yeah,
the one we did here locally at the library sticks in my head too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
was
kind of ruined it for locals.
The one meta where Breloom was eligible was like really good because it had just gotten Grass Knot or something.
Yeah.
And then like it's just ceased to be relevant ever since.
I think getting our butts handed to us. Anytime we went to Kirkland or Monroe, is Kano going to be there? Oh, well, darn. I guess we just won't win today.
Literally any of those guys. Yeah.
Kano or what was the other one? Big floofy hair kid. I forget his name now.
Oh, Dobby.
Yeah,
Dobby or Dobby or something like that. But yeah, retired at this point. But like those two, if those two continue to play, child prodigies.
Yeah.
Seriously. And actually, well, so Kano was at Vancouver. Was he playing or no?
No.
Okay. Which is wild to think that you would just like go and
Kano came to... Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Kano was there. Yeah.
Yeah. Super long surfer hair.
Yeah, that's right. He had the flow going. He had that hockey player flow going. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, it's such a adventure, to be honest. And I wish I had more optimism beyond Sylph, because I don't know, like Play Pokemon we got a move update, but it just turned it back to another meta that we've had before that's stale. And it towards the end there, like I got no problems with Sylph. Making a meta is probably a nightmare, but like towards the end it was just getting rough to make metas. And I'm sure the Pokemon Go just roster of Pokemon and Pokemon that perform well just doesn't help.
And just trying to find the balance of barrier to entry and making it still somewhat fun and not a complete, if you don't have this one Pokemon, well, that sucks.
I don't envy any of those guys.
The tournament designers.
Shout outs to all of the people that worked on the Sylph GG side. You know, making that happen since what, 2018?
Yeah.
So you're looking at 5 years?
Yeah.
Of tournaments and everything. So,
and we worked through a crisis.
JDY, that's the problem, is that there's going to be a lot of smaller offshoots that no one's going to... It will take time for them to build the same following, and I don't know if that same following can be achieved again. Maybe I'm a little too pessimistic on that one, but...
I mean, the remote raids killed off a lot of the general interest for the locals in doing Sylph metas.
Remote tournaments, yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot like with the raid communities, they all condense into bigger online communities. And unfortunately, we're at the reversion process now where people are dispersing from those communities and coming back into the fold of everyone else that's been in that space for the last 3 years. And they're like, I mean, like even here locally, we've seen 3 or 4 people that we haven't heard from in ages just pop back in and go, oh, hey, can I join in on this raid?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who are you? But it's good to see locals coming back. It's good to see people in general coming back, because the game prior to this update didn't feel like many people were going to keep playing.
Mm-mm. No, it was pretty disastrous, to be honest.
And with the remote raid change, even some still haven't come back.
Yeah, and I don't know if people will. That's another tough space to be in.
Yeah, and it's like Michael Stronka said, it's the Band-Aid they had to pull off, and they knew there were going to be some repercussions because of it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I'll miss Sylph. I think with the Play Pokemon circuit being really the only in-person circuit, we won't really get the same opportunity to live stream.
Not unless we do
In-person
charities or fun stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy doing the live streams and setting all that up, but I don't know if the viewership's there for it to make sense.
Yeah.
If it's a not a sunk cost fallacy, but just numbers wise, if it's fun to do, but it takes a lot of effort, and it takes away from the event itself, that I don't know if it makes sense to stream.
It's kind of like what happened with Seattle with the GoFest stream. It sounded like something fun, but it ended up being more than what it was worth.
Is that what their takeaway was?
No, I feel like that's what you're saying.
Oh, I mean, the benefit of Seattle, and it wasn't a Sylph, but the benefit of the GoFest tournament stream that happened last year, the benefit of it was we weren't handling the tournament itself. We were just handling the stream. And I'm okay with that. If somebody else wants to handle a tournament, and wants it streamed and needs the help, I'm more than willing to help. It's just that all the rest of everything else, like, it's still a lot of work, but it's doable. It's just that no one else is wanting to do that in-person tournament, is wanting to take that on.
Everyone's willing to participate. No one's willing to help.
But not even everyone is willing to participate. It's still a fraction. It's not that same group of people.
Yeah.
It's not that same amount of people. So,
and that's also why, if anything, GBL is what's the last 4 months or so been the more popular thing that people watch.
But even then, you've seen a fall off. I see you, dog. I know. I love you, bud.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough because it's.
I mean, the game is losing traction.
Yeah, it's any other sport. It's like baseball and the pitch clock, of like, we need a shot in the arm, we need a rule change or something to make this exciting. I think the biggest thing that they can do, and I don't know if they would do it, but is a rental team.
I preached that for years.
If we had rental teams, I think that changes.
There would be no barrier to entry.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be incredibly refreshing.
I don't know what needs to happen on their end, but yeah.
It's complicated. I think that's probably one of the biggest ways to keep PvP within. And I don't even know if you only allow it in Play Pokemon Circuit or what the deal is. But I think rental teams is maybe the one PvP focused feature you could have in the game that would bring widespread interest in the game.
Would you say
and
something
refreshing the game up
like what they did for, what was it, last year, the Twitch plays, where a professional player and a streamer had X amount of resources to catch X amount of things and then battle with those?
You catch for 3 hours ahead of time, catch and team build, and then you play. Potentially. That's the only other thing that I can think of. That's the closest thing we have to currently. I don't know. That format can't work in a Play Pokemon format.
No.
It doesn't work in a Play Pokemon. I mean, you wouldn't get viewers. You wouldn't get participants.
No.
Not paying $70 to get in the door to compete and only be able to use your last 24 hours of Pokemon. It would be great to watch from a competitive standpoint to see what in the world a meta would look like there.
That's actually a good question. Is in the VGC for the Play Pokemon, can you use rentals?
No.
So then, yeah.
Yeah. It's
because people put up their teams and say, here, copy my team. That's something you can easily pick up and play in the VGC online community. But you don't see that for Go.
No, and it's there's
and that allows you to practice and playtest things without having to have the resources.
Right? There's ways to do it in TCG. You know the effects of a card. You can make a what's it called?
Proxy.
You can make a proxy.
We actually saw someone's really nice art for some proxy
One
cards.
of the our local game shops has somebody that frequents there that does proxies.
They were what, watch roll proxies?
I think so.
Yeah, one was like a dead watch roll in a grave.
That was a They're fantastic. It's a
one was
fantastic little
looked like
art.
a P dove.
Yeah. There's no way of doing that in Go, and I think that might be one of the best ways to bring in more casual people and more people in general.
Let them have a test team that they can play with and experiment.
Mm-hmm. I think viewership-wise, if you're going to do a stream, doing a catch cup format for an event or whatever, I think would work. Like logistically, if you want to stream the catching of it as well, is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Gross. I mean, realistically, what you could do is, make it even more gross. Well, yeah, there's really no easy way of doing it.
Yeah. I guess you got to, is it just the high player skill level of the people competing in the NIIC and the regionals that draws people to watch them?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't.
Is it the profiles of the individuals, that people that know them and support them? Be like me going to you and saying, hey, I know this player. We should watch them because they're cool.
I haven't watched any of it.
Oh.
And I haven't watched any of the regional streams in a long time. It's hard. Like, how do you bring me back? How do you get more people interested? I see a dog. I got a feeling. Like the stream itself is hard. Like getting people interested in play Pokemon, not only competing but like eyeballs on the streams is hard. The game is in a spot where it's just
put that line in the water and try and reel them back.
Yeah, we're in a weird spot, and I don't know if we can come back from. I don't think we really had it. I don't think we had it to begin with. That we're looking back on it, and
we haven't had it since 2016.
We were looking back on it with rose tinted glasses. That I don't think.
That's a good analogy.
I don't think we had it. I think we had a better time, but I don't ever think we had. I don't know if Pokemon Go and Pokemon Go PvP ever had a successful product for it to last long.
I mean,
even
Pokemon
last this
Go
long.
in general, I'm surprised it's lasted this long.
It's insane, mind-boggling. So I'm surprised that it's continuing to go. That we've reached this point, but it doesn't look sustainable.
No, not anymore.
There, a lot of things need to change.
I mean,
as far as PvP, Pokemon Go itself, if we're getting, I haven't looked at the articles on routes and contests. I think routes have been detailed. I don't know if contests have. I know they were showing demos of it at Summer Games Fest, which was this last weekend. So there's details of it circulating or will be circulating. So that's Pokemon Go itself will probably continue. I don't know if PvP is really something that's going to see greater success.
I mean, it's kind of like what we've talked about, how the same people come to each of the tournaments. If you can't get new people to try,
it's your barrier. Yeah, it's a barrier to entry. And I'm not seeing it to the same degree with the little bit of experimenting I'm doing with TCG. I don't see that same barrier to entry per se. As far as learning the rules, you have hundreds of people competing, whereas you have a dozen and a half competing for Go at every regional, whereas you have hundreds doing TCG and multiple. You have 100 plus, and you have multiple hundreds for VGC. Now those VGC numbers are going to dwindle hard.
Now,
but again, I don't want to go into the absolute chaotic mess that is
the new format.
Regulation D for VGC. Go look that up. It's a great laugh. It's like a comedy sketch of absolute chaos and
You took the
questionable
stir pot
decision
and
making.
put it in the fridge and added everything.
It's a witch's brew of
Yeah.
oh my. Mm-hmm. Oh,
You like exclusivity?
I'm gonna throw up
Play
in my,
regulation
I'm gonna
D.
throw up in my mouth. Have fun with Enamorous. Regieleki again. It's not been a year. Good luck. You don't get to run away from Regieleki for long. It always catches up. It's
the
speed.
Sephiroth of Pokemon.
It will return. It's Sephiroth's line from one of the Final Fantasy VII novels or stories that's written by the author of the primary writer of 7 is him dead after the events of Final Fantasy VII, thinking as long as Cloud is still alive and I come back up in his brain, I will still be alive. And it's like, oh my god, it's a nightmare.
Jesus, depressed.
I mean,
Sephiroth.
yeah, like it won't go away.
I will never be a memory.
Regieleki with Sephiroth's hair.
Dun, 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 dun.
Muramasa. That's dumb. That's really dumb. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's sad to see Sylph go. I hope something will come and be semi-successful.
I hope the best for Zygarde. Project Zygarde.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it like at all. And maybe during this break we'll look at it, and that's something that we, redouble our efforts into. If we come back when we come back from this break, if that makes sense, then we look at Zygarde as something to focus on. I'm sad for Factions because it's only been around for
a year, maybe
two-ish. It's been around for a couple of seasons. That's such a cool format that will just never get mainstream popularity, which is such a bummer because the team format is where hype is at, and I think that's where competitive formats I think live and die. That's where you have that tribalism aspect of human sociology.
Camaraderie.
The human brain will see a team and be like, I like the look of that team, or I like that color, or I like this player, or they're doing something, or their logo's cool, or what have you, or they've had success, or these guys are the underdog, and they'll latch onto a team. And then you continue that team. And that's how you get that tribalism, and you get that vicious cycle of wanting to engage with that and wanting to see that content. So I think that's where I think maybe some of Unite has a really cool opportunity as a team-based game, but where the rest of Play Pokemon, TCG, and VGC I think has a little bit of a bummer where you don't have that X factor.
Right.
And I think Pokken Tournament, tapping into the fighting game community, and you have those personalities, and you have a bit of that tribalism. You don't necessarily have teams, but you have those individuals with those personalities. That's that X factor. That's that little bit where if they had continued to support Pokken Tournament, released a second one, or continued to bring it through in the Play Pokemon circuit, I think that's where you continue to have that X factor. You continue to have that new blood. So, and I don't know if Pokemon Go, I just don't think has that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not in its current format. It is not, and maybe shouldn't have ever been, a PvP. Had a main focus on PvP. To be honest, I don't know if it ever really should have. It's an interesting concept. And if you want to be revisionist history and look at it and say, yeah, maybe we really didn't need PvP in this game. I'm thankful that it happened. We're living in a world where Pokemon Go PvP happened and we met all these people and we're doing all this cool stuff. But in the long run, or looking back on it of this game just shouldn't have been built. Shouldn't have had a PvP format. because like it just doesn't work. Like it does, but it doesn't. We're looking at the repercussions now, and it's like it's awful. It's just an awful game to like format a PvP thing around. Like the living world game, like a Destiny, doesn't have like it has PvP, but it doesn't have competitive PvP. And thank the stars it doesn't, because that competitive meta is gross and is just dumb and doesn't make any sense. Like these games have a casual PvP, but they don't have like a play Pokemon circuit. Where like GBL could exist, but because we have a play Pokemon circuit and we have things that are taking it like way too seriously, like they have to put in a lot more effort. Whereas if we didn't have a play Pokemon circuit, they can go willy-nilly with the moves all they wanted. They could do the dumbest garbage possible, and they wouldn't have this format that they didn't have to contort themselves to. They don't have to format the changes to.
I mean, they still would for GBL.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
I mean, some people live or die by their elo.
Right, and like some people live or die as they're ranking on Destiny 2 PvP, but they don't have PvP tournaments where they have to like show up and show out.
You're right.
Where there's
a
ton of cost.
There's no inherent rewards.
Yeah,
It's all title.
It's just pure spectacle. It's not money. It's not. It's cosmetic basically. Yeah. Is the rewards for it? Well, yeah.
Fun stuff.
I mean, you could put it that way. I don't know. I can bemoan this for hours.
Well, we've technically been doing it for 2.
No, No, you're right. We recorded. We're at an hour and 57 minutes. So, if you have further questions for us, you can go over to the Battle Science Discord. It is linked down below. Should still be active. I haven't double checked it, but our Discord invite link hasn't changed to my knowledge. So, until Discord absolutely dies, it'll still be there. If you have questions that you want to ask us more directly, at battle_science on Twitter, you can DM us. DMs should be open. To my knowledge, although I think
I haven't changed anything, I promise.
No, Twitter's changing some of the rules because, of course, Elon Musk is being really stupid and changing the way how some things are formatted on Twitter. If you can't DM us, add us on Twitter. Just write a tweet at battle_science and then write your question, and we will see it. Don't be vulgar, please. We reserve the right to not answer a question or block you if you're being a stinky butthole. So,
What's your phrase? Cheeks?
Butt cheeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to be butt cheeks, go be butt cheeks elsewhere. We will tell you as such. Discord, Twitter. You can go over to the youtube.com/c/battlescience. It will be up. Podcasts will be there. I might start putting the old podcasts up if I think about it and actually want to do it. Not necessarily want to do it, but if I think about it, I'm in front of my computer and I'm actively doing nothing else. We'll see if that happens. The hiatus is indeterminate. Once we find a time, if we are coming back, we will let you know. We will post it on all of the things. The Patreon will exist for a period of time. There's a chance that I'll unpublish it at some point, but it will stay up for now because it has all of the Battle Science After Dark podcasts. So that is still around. The most recent Battle Science After Dark podcast is public, so you can go there and listen to that without being a Patreon or a Patreon supporter, which again, thank you to all of the people that backed us on Patreon. We will be able to keep the podcast up for, I think, at least 2 years with the amount that we have accrued from Patreon over the last little bit. It has covered. We had to pay the first one. Patreon covered, I think, the second year, and it will cover at least 2 more years. So, if this is in fact the end, then the podcast will be up for at least 2 more years, for sure. I should see if I can't prepay for Podbean. I don't know if I can or not. I don't know. I'll look into that, because that would be nice. That would be cool. I think that's everything else. Do you have any final questions? Thanks, statements, whatever?
Just thank you to everyone that's listening to this. Thank you for giving us something to do on Tuesday night. Something.
I mean, we give... no one had to listen to this for us to keep doing it. I think. Like, I mean, seeing the numbers tick up and see, like, people are listening even to, like, the first 10 minutes or whatever is definitely something, is some motivation.
I think it's pretty neat that people listen to us talk about a game that we're not experts on.
It's mind-boggling. I don't understand how people do it.
You're awesome.
Legitimately have no understanding as to why. I've been told our chemistry is good, so, which is impressive. I don't get it.
I'm pretty fluid.
I mean, that's a solution, a mixture of 2 liquids. Chemistry can be involved. Is that... So if you're a bartender or mixologist, are you also a chemist then?
Yeah.
Speaking?
If you're a chef, you're also a chemist.
Depresso Espresso, there's nothing stopping you from looking up, hypothetical feet pics for other people. I don't know, man. I'm not going to send you feet pics right now.
What a way to end an episode.
You're in the Discord. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, boy. Is that one of the Patreon content?
I've said on the podcast that I wanted to do
the fireman's calendar.
Do the shirtless gamer charity calendar.
Oh boy!
Because I think it would be it's hilarious. It would sell so much, and it's all just unattractive men with their shirts off and like gaming and nerd stuff around them.
What I look like during the summer evenings in my room.
Make it. You could have so much fun with it, and
I've got some chest hair down there, but not as much as Proto.
It would be so goofy to do and just hilarious. And like, I don't know who would buy it. I don't know if we would get enough people to buy it, but like, I think it would be just fun to do, and hopefully enough people would buy it that we could make a decent amount of money to give to charity. Will it ever happen?
How did you guys get this money? Do you really want to know?
Yeah, it's a long story.
It started with this person in our chat wanting pictures of our feet.
Adopt a dad bod. It's one of those. It was one of those dumb ideas that like popped into my brain right around Portland or something. I think when we were like just hanging out with all of the rest of like the Pokemon Go nerds. That was like, oh, that would be so funny. I think it was in the planning Discord for Portland.
That sounds right.
I was just going off because Depresso Espresso was there, having experience with the helping out with some of the logistics from experience with California. So yeah, good times. Some of that is that's hilarious. Some of the just meeting with people online and stuff. Yeah, if you have dumb questions, like asking for feet pics or wanting to battle or seeing if we're going to a regional, or what's your least favorite Pokemon, or any other dumb questions, or want to come hang out or do whatever,
you can find us.
Yep, at battle_science. We'll be quiet, but we won't be away. The Discord, what's going on now? I don't know, dude. That's just, yeah, stuff.
Money on the table.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's not goodbye.
I hope not. I hope not. I don't know. It's scary. I gotta move. That's the downside. If I move, I'm going into a considerably smaller place where you and I don't get to record in the same room, most likely, unless I make my kitchen a studio thing and I tell my roommate that he gets to choke on it while we.
What are you talking about? I just heard you have a new Padawan you get to train.
What do you mean?
Teach them the ways of Go.
No, guy, he wouldn't want to do that. No, absolute dork. I was a contributing factor to him picking up Scarlet though, and he loves the Tinkaton line. So maybe if Tinkaton comes to Pokemon Go, then he'll get into it. But we're a long way out, so a long way out from Tinkaton. That'd be really refreshing though. Might be really good. Maybe not though. We'll see. We'll see if Pokemon Go even's around long enough to get Tinkaton. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Let's do one final one here.
What do you got? One final hydrate. You goober. Drink water, guys. Stay hydrated. While we're away, don't let yourself crumble. Appreciate everybody that's been listening. Ew, dude. Drink off mic, please. No one needs to, people hear their own slurps in a you don't have to
I had
bring
to
your slurps
audiolize that redemption there.
Gross. I hope that gets like cut out a little bit. Yeah, thank you everybody for listening to us for the years. God, when did we start? I don't remember when we started. I wasn't going to look up stats, and I'm not about to start at this point. Yep, keep it locked to the socials. Keep it in the Discord. If we come back, we'll try and put the word out. It seems like all of the social medias. Hello, dog. Hello, HR.
HR had to come say his final goodbyes.
All of the social medias that we would put, hey, we're coming back on, are all struggling right now because like Reddit has had blackouts. Twitter is a dumpster fire within a dumpster fire and has been for a while. So, that might still exist as a dumpster fire. And Discord is apparently going public and is actively trying to ruin itself, apparently. So, yeah, that's fun. One way or another, we'll try to get the word out, depending on when we come back in a space where people, might see. So, and you can follow us here on Twitch. If you follow us, it's not going away. So you might get a push notification just randomly out of the blue, in a period of time that is indeterminate between now and then. And get a little notification that says, hey, we're back, or hey, the Battle Science Podcast. And you'll be like, oh, wait, they're back? And then you realize that we've been back. We never left. I don't know. Scary. I have apparently a fear of ending this because then I might go cry. So before I start doing that now, thank you, everybody, for listening. I've been Steven, a.k.a. Boy in the Woods. This has been my co-host forever and always, Jesse, a.k.a. Rocket Admin J.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Steven.
Parker, can you speak? Can you speak? Speak. Speak. Speak.
Parker, speak.
Parker, speak. Don't jump on me.
Oh, roof.
I don't think he'll do it. He's in a mood. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will catch you out there on the battlefield.